We're speaking to Joanna Joseph this morning. She is a beauty queen and a model. Thank you so much, Joanna, for speaking to us on the LITE Breakfast.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Now, we read that you've been through a lot in your younger years. Can you tell us a little bit more about your struggles with your weight, especially?
Okay, so I'm the only child in the family, and I was born after 10 years. So what happened was I was born as a really skinny kid. I didn't have an appetite, and like my parents were really worried because I just didn't want to eat. And it came to a point where they brought me to the doctor, and then the doctor started giving me supplements so that it can induce hunger. And after that, I started eating, and I couldn't stop. So when I was about 7 years old, I was about 60 kgs, I think.
Wow.
And yeah, I was
Wow.
like the fattest kid in my primary school. And I used to be a victim of bullying back then in primary. And my teachers used to mock me, students used to mock me. But then, when you're a little kid, you don't really take things so hard so much because everything is all about having fun, right? Like you don't really realize that it's bullying. But then as soon as I entered my secondary school, I think that was when I realized what all of this was about. Because when I was 13, I was about 104 kilos already. And no one kind of told me that, being obese is a bad thing. And my family didn't really tell me that, you should start losing weight. Because whenever I wanted something and when I asked them, they got it for me, especially food.
Because previously you were super skinny and then they were trying to feed you anyway, right?
Yeah. So they never stopped me and I also never really bothered much about it until I entered my secondary school. And that was when all the insecurities started hitting. And when you see other girls, because I went to an all-girls school, I've never been to a mixed school in my life. And when you see other girls wearing pretty clothes and when they're talking about so many things which you can't relate to because you've never been in that kind of thing, I started feeling a bit upset about my weight and everything. And people started pointing it out like, oh, you're fat. And, you won't be able to wear pretty clothes. You won't be able to, do this and that and everything. So it kind of took a toll on my mental health, I would say. I started falling into depression and everything. And I tried losing weight many times by myself, but then it never really worked because I was always 50-50. Like I would go to gym with my dad. And then right after gym, I would eat like a huge plate of nasi goreng for maybe 3 to 4 people all by myself. So, oh, I'm so sorry. Did you get cut off?
No worries.
Yeah.
No, we're still there. Yeah.
Joanna, is it okay if you try and push the hair where the mic is to the back? Because we can hear, no, the other side. Yeah.
The ruffling. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Push the hair to the back because we can hear a bit of the ruffling every time you moved a little bit. Yeah.
We're good.
Is
Yeah.
it better
Okay.
now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So at that point, when you were young, at your heaviest, Joanna, how much did you weigh?
I was 104 at my heaviest.
And that was when you were 13. So you were in Form 1.
Yep.
But you were so young at the time. Like, how did you know what to do and what to eat and what not to eat?
Okay, so I had an uncle with me. His name was Coach Tava, and he was involved in some fitness line. And he used to always tell me that, Joe, you should really think about losing weight and whatnot, because I think it'll be way healthier for you. And I think that you would feel much better about yourself, because he knew what I was going through. And he was always there, like at every wedding function when relatives used to come up to me saying like, hey, Joanna, you put on weight already. That we always have that.
It's a typical Malaysian thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So and then it comes to the point where they start saying like, oh, if you're too fat, you won't be able to find a husband and this and that. And then, you can see your face fall all the time. Like, oh no,
God.
This topic is coming up. So he was there with me through that phase. And then he used to always advise me. So I always tell him like, uncle, I really want to do this, but I'm not sure as to what should I do. So he used to give me a few tips and everything. But then there came a point where I got so fed up because I felt like this was going nowhere, like me trying and then falling back into old eating habits and stuff. So when I was 15, I told my mom, like, you know what, I really am going to do this. I'm going to give it a shot. And this time I'm going to be very serious about this. And she laughed at me because she thought that, maybe I wouldn't take it seriously because all my previous attempts were, really going downhill. So because she laughed at me, I got the fire more. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to prove everyone wrong. And it actually worked. Like, I went on the internet. Google was my best friend at that time. And I typed out like types of diet, and then like food I should stop consuming to not gain weight, all this kind of stuff. And I used to write it down, like, okay, so this much of food has this much of calories, and this much of food, what kind of diets are there, and all these kind of things. And then I sat down and talked to my uncle, like, okay, so I've done all this, and how do I know which kind of diet suits me and everything? So he kind of advised me on that. And then I started working out at home. My dad got me like a gym mat. He got me 5 kg dumbbells, and that was about it. So I used to go on YouTube and watch this particular fitness instructor. Her name was Pilates on YouTube, and she's a female instructor. She does really fun workouts with Zumba and whatnot. So I used to follow her steps, and I also used to download apps on my phone. Like, if you go on your app store or Android and iPhone, they both have it. They have free ab workouts, free leg workouts, free back workouts. So I used to like download all of them and just follow the routines.
When you said your mom laughed at you, right? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to figure out how they felt about it. Do they have issues with weight as well, your family?
They never really bothered much about it, because like every day used to be like, every morning when I wake up, there'll be nasi ayam on the table, and then the next day there'll be yong tau fu, the next day there'll be ing yong and everything. So I don't think they took it seriously lah. Like, they used to be there when my relatives were making fun of me and everything, but they never really told me like, I think your weight is an issue, you have to do something about it. I figured that out by myself.
But they didn't have weight problems themselves.
No.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But besides the weight issue, did you have any health problems related to your weight when you were
I
younger?
was actually really difficult for me to like breathe much, because when I go for like running marathons in school and everything, I couldn't really participate much lah. And there's also the insecurity when, back then in primary and secondary, you have that rumah merah, ungu hijau, and you have all
The
your
sports
teammates,
day,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so like when I'm put in a particular group, everyone goes like, oh my god, she's gonna make us lose because of her weight.
Wow.
And yeah, so because of that, I don't really get involved much in sports activities in school and stuff lah, because of that. Like, oh no, they're gonna look down on me and everything. And during this merentas desa and everything, they used to say like, oh, gempa bumi lah, Joni lari.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not nice.
That is. And some of them used to, like when I run behind them, they used to be like, hey, move lah, I'm scared you'll fall on me and squash me or something.
Oh God. Kids can
Yeah.
be so mean.
Yeah. They don't know any better. But
They don't.
what this time around, what made you so determined to lose the weight? Because you said you've tried other diets and other exercises, but it was always 50-50. But this time around, you managed to lose it. What made you so determined?
Okay, so I was about 15 years old when I decided, like, you know what, let's just give this a shot. And I just felt like, the bullying was getting too much, and I just wanted to prove my haters wrong. If someone really, really wants to do it, they can actually do it and put their mind and heart and soul into it and everything. Plus, I wasn't really going to school much at that time because of all the bullying. It came to a point where I used to go to school only twice a week.
Huh?
Yeah, because I
Oh,
was so
wow.
afraid of the bullies and everything. And my teachers kind of like understood, because I used to sit at home and study, and my grades were really good in school, so they didn't complain much. But since I had a lot of free time at home, right, and after finishing my homework assignments and everything, I used to just sit down and plan my diets and work out and everything lah. So my school teachers only saw me like twice a week or 3 times a week mostly. And the balance, I would just be at home studying, because I felt I could focus more at home compared to school.
Okay.
And while doing this, I was also busy working out on my free time and, like dieting and everything. So when I used to go to school back every week, like once or twice, there used to be a lot of changes. Like in 1 week, I would lose about 1 kg-ish, 2 kgs. And everyone at school used to be like, hey, how come she's slimming down so fast? Like they kind of, there were rumors that I went through LIPO. There were rumors that I started like,
Oh,
going
God.
for some. Yeah, when I lost all the weight, I think it took me about 3 to 6 months ish to lose from 104 kilos to about 53 kgs.
Wow.
And
That's that's very fast, Joanna.
that's very fast.
6 months, you
Yeah.
lost 50 kilos almost.
Mhm.
Okay. So what happened
Yeah.
when you went back to school as a 53-kilo girl?
My teachers asked me like, where's your sister, Joanna? And all the students were like, yo, what happened, man? What drugs are you on? Like, and I'm like, I didn't take anything. Like, this is all like me doing my thing, because I went on a full-on vegetarian diet. I just gave it a shot. I'm the kind of person that really likes vegetables. So it's
Right,
like,
right.
it
So
was
it's
really
easy for you
easy
anyway,
for
right?
me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it used to be as simple as like I go to school, I have like fruits and then like brown bread, like no white stuff, everything's just brown. And then I used to have like vegetables together with oranges and fruits. So it was like a all-in-one thing where there's carbohydrates, protein, and everything. And then my friends, when they were with me, they used to see all this, like what I'm doing. So those who were with me every time, they know that I was taking it seriously and there was like no sort of, drugs involved or pills or supplements or anything. And then when I come home, I used to just eat a huge pot of vegetables. And then I used to go work out. In the evening, I used to go and jog. So my close ones, like my family and friends, they knew what I was doing. But then like when other people see it, they tend to be like, oh my God, how? And my teachers, like they had like this whole classroom gossip thing where they used to call me into their bilik guru. All of them used to surround me. They used to be like, so Joe, what drugs were you on? And these were all school teachers, and they'll be like, can you like supply me some of those drugs as well? So
What?
it was really tough. Yeah.
Wow.
It was really, really tough because I felt like, despite me being fat or losing weight, that the whole bullying thing was still the same. Like there was no changes when it came to the whole transformation.
Wow.
My God, I feel so bad for you. But
Yeah,
you're
it's
such a
okay.
strong girl that you managed to do all this on your own.
Thank you.
Yeah, but what was the first thing you did right that you think helped you lose this weight? Was it the diet or was it the exercise?
I think that it was the diet because my uncle always told me that dieting is 70% and working out is always 30%. So if you don't really have a good diet, you can't, working out is pointless. So your diet is actually really, really, really important. And I really focused on my diet, which was why I included more vegetables, more fruits, and then I cut out all the white refined sugars. It came to the point where I used to go to the mama and order something, for example, like orange juice, and they used to be like, Anna, don't put any additional sugar. I just
Yeah,
want the
yeah, yeah.
sugar from the fruit. And
Kurang
then
manis
they'll
or
be
tak
like,
mau manis, right?
yeah. So that was how it was going. Like first it was really, really difficult for me because like I used to eat so much last time. I used to whack like 2 Big Macs, like a whole plate of nasi goreng China for like 5 people by myself.
My
And
God.
then I think, yeah, I used to eat a lot. So when I think my body kind of went into shock when I started reducing all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like eating really healthy all of a sudden after all the years. So, which is also might be a reason why I started losing weight really rapidly. Maybe it's because of the sudden changes and the sudden workouts and everything. Plus, after my weight loss, I had a lot of issues with my body where I had the saggy skin, the excess skin.
Yeah.
Like until today, I suffer from it. And I've tried working out, but then it doesn't really help anymore because I think my body kind of lost the elasticity of the skin. So my gym trainer told me like the only way you can like, get really toned is if you gain back all the weight and then lose it again. And I'm like, no way, man.
No, because I
That's not
think you
happening.
lost the weight too rapidly
Yeah.
in 6 months.
Mm.
That's why you have loose skin. If you did it gradually, maybe it won't be that bad, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to doctors as well, asking for their opinions. But then the doctors were like, "Oh, your excess skin is not so bad to the point where, like, some people they have it so
Yeah.
obviously. Mine is just like little bits and pieces here and there. So even if I were to do like, an operation to remove it, it'd be pretty much impossible. So I'm just like, okay.
Oh, you can't
What the
even
heck?
do
Yeah.
operation surgery.
No, because he said that the skin is not that much for them to like cut and pull and stitch.
Right.
Like it's just there. So you just gotta leave it be. And I say, okay, fine.
When you stop
Okay.
eating as much, right? You said you could eat a nasi goreng Cina that could feed 5 people, and then you cut
Yeah.
down so dramatically. Did you feel hunger? Like,
Mhm.
how did your body handle it?
I felt very tired at first, very fatigued and everything, like when your body feels like there's no energy and all that. And then my uncle told me it's normal to feel that way because of how much you used to eat last time and then how much you used to eat now and everything. So he advised me to take like all these multivitamin tablets because I went vegetarian, right? And he said those multivitamins will actually help you to give the sort of vitamins you need, which you are not consuming from meat. So I said, okay. And then I also had an issue where like my hair started dropping really rapidly as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's normal because a lot of my friends who are also losing weight and eating differently, they tend to have a lot of hair fall issues. I think it's because of the lack of nutrients and everything, which is why it's so important to take like hair supplements and multivitamins when you're trying to lose weight and everything. So if my hair used to be really long, it used to be like until my pelvic bone. But now as you can see, it's like
Also,
it's really
it
short.
never recovered in a way?
It did, but it's very slow lah. I don't know why.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, we all know that it's difficult to lose the weight, but it's so easy to gain it back, right? Are you worried that you might go back to the size that you were before?
Yeah, especially in the industry now, right? Ever since I entered the modeling industry, I kind of felt like the pressure, you know, like everything about the modeling industry is like, oh, you need to be in a certain size, you need to be a certain weight kind of thing. So I'm always very particular in like my gaining something. Or if I feel myself gaining, I automatically be like, okay, I need to go to the gym today, I need to start working out kind of thing. So I eat normally nowadays. I started eating rice back because back then I cut rice off completely from my diet. And after that was when I realized I started dropping weight so much. Like rice was the main issue for me. So nowadays I eat rice, like I'm about almost 60 kgs now. I think that I'm at a very healthy weight because I'm really tall. I'm about 180 centimeters tall.
My God, you're taller
So
than
I
I
feel
am.
that, yeah. So I think that my BMI is just nice at this point. So I'm just trying to like, you know, slowly eat back the food I really enjoy eating.
Wait, what
But then like
rice?
some
Is it white rice or
white
brown
rice.
rice or?
White rice at this point. Sometimes I eat brown rice lah. But if for the viewers, brown rice is always a healthy option. A healthier option. Yeah.
Actually, we heard from another trainer, they said that if you eat brown rice and you don't exercise, it's the same. You get the carbs as well.
In a way, yeah, it's true
Yeah.
because rice is rice, right?
Yeah,
But
rice
then-
is rice. But I want to ask you, Joanna, why did you decide to become a model and even entered beauty pageant? You were Miss Earth 2016, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
won the title. So what made you decide to want to take part in a beauty pageant?
Okay. Honestly, modeling was never on my mind in high school. I never looked at myself as a model because of my weight and how I looked like and everything. I really wanted to become a veterinarian as a kid because I really like animals. But then after I lost weight and everything, people around me said that, hey, you know, you should give a shot at modeling. You have like, you already lost weight, you have like a really good height and everything, good facial structures and whatnot. You give a shot lah. So I was very skeptical because I knew nothing about the industry. And then my parents, like my whole family is the kind which is like really typical, you know, like they're like, oh, modeling is not like a suitable thing for, you know, an only child to enter and all that. But then I gave it a shot. I had a friend who was a fashion designer and then she gave me the opportunity to model for her clothes. So that was how I started off initially. And then my friends told me that maybe you should join pageantry because I think that you have a high chance in winning the crown. So just see where it takes you, lah. You know, don't let the opportunity slide. So I said, okay. Then I gave my my com card to them, and then they were really excited because it was very rare for them apparently to find someone who's tall. So they were like, okay, you know what, Joe, but just go for it, just go for it. You know, just join and just see like whether you can get it or not. So I joined. That was my very first pageant, and I was really, really nervous. I was like, "Oh my god!" I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about catwalking. I knew zero, and I'm not someone who wears heels because of my height. Like I'm really tall, right? And my size is like really big. I'm like a size 42, so it's really hard to get heels as well. But the first time was so scary. Like I couldn't balance myself, and it was very, very tough for me. But I think with a lot of practice, I got the hang of it, and I managed to win the crown. It was really surprising because I never thought I could. But then, yeah, from that things started escalating. And then like later on, I realized like pageantry isn't for me lah, because it was a lot of like mental stress and a lot of, you know, a lot of things go on inside, which the people outside don't know about it. It's, oh my God, it's so scary. So I stepped out of pageantry. But then like, I'm really glad I did Miss Selangor because that was when my story went out, my weight loss story. I've always been talking about it on my Instagram, but then not so much because of how people used to tell me like, oh, it's nothing. It's just, plastic surgery. It's so obvious. You can see her face. She did her nose and then she became fatter and all this kind of stuff. So I never really talked about it because I was very afraid of the backlash. But then when my story went out after I won Miss Selangor, I think that a lot of people got inspired. It went worldwide. A lot of big media people covered it. So I was really astonished. I was like, wow, people can be accepting also. And a lot of people started losing weight after that as well. They told me that, oh, I took you as my inspiration. I lost 10 kgs, I lost 20 kgs. So that made me really happy. Like, okay, I'm doing something, like my weight loss isn't just like for me, it's for everybody around me. Yeah.
Yeah, but did your self-worth or self-esteem issues from when you were younger, when you were a teen, affect your career right now, especially in modeling and all that? Do you still feel a bit like self-conscious about modeling or about being in a beauty pageant?
Yeah, I do at times because I know that my body isn't like perfection like other people. Like I have a lot of stretch marks on my body, especially my tummy area due to the weight loss. And of course the excess skin is always there and it's visible. And we have like these bikini rounds in beauty pageants. So when it comes to the bikini rounds, I'm always extra terrified because everyone there has like really slim and really good bodies. And then there was just me standing there with all my excess skin hanging. And I remember that once when we went for the round where it's only me and the judges just asked me point blank like, why did you join the pageant if you have such a body? And I just went, I was just so blurred because I didn't know how to answer them. And I told them I lost a lot of weight, which is why my body is such. And then they said, I think you should really consider plastic surgery if you want to last in the modeling industry. And, stuff like that. So like they kept attacking me in a way where I felt like, oh my God, maybe this isn't for me. Like pageants isn't for me until they start accepting that beauty pageants are about, it's not just about the body, it's about the person herself and the values they carry.
Yeah.
So I took a step back and I was like, okay, you know what? I got a lot of experience from this, but I'm going to use my platform, especially Instagram and all, to advocate that, when it comes to modeling, it's not only about the body, it's also about how you carry yourself, about your confidence and everything, and put it out there. So that's what I'm trying to do right now at this point.
How old are you now, Joanna, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 23.
Still so young. What are you up to now? Like, are you furthering your studies? Are you working? Or are you full-time model now?
I have been studying ever since the age of 18. I was studying in MSU Shah Alam for my diploma in TESOL, which is teaching. But because of like pageants in between and everything, it kind of got delayed a bit because I had to choose between pageant week and going to classes and everything. So there was a lot of deferring. So this year was the year I was supposed to graduate from it, but because of the whole COVID thing, I can't graduate. So I have to wait until next year for going to my intern because you have to teach in schools, right? And all the schools are like closed at this point. So I gotta wait. But besides that, I'm doing part-time modeling. I'm trying out like new acting stuff in music videos. I also have this huge dream of flying to Los Angeles and hoping that I can start something else there.
Wow.
And yeah, I have a platform called LITE to Inspire, which I created recently. It's basically a platform where we have modeling classes, coaching classes and everything, and also conceptual photo shoots where we talk about very taboo kind of stuff like skin color and then bullying. So this year I managed, although it's the COVID, I managed to complete 2 different kinds of conceptual shoots where we talked about bullying. And we also talked about skin, like appreciating dark skin and whatnot. So that's something I really enjoy doing, like, touching on topics which other people don't normally touch on because they feel like it's not really, it's pointless kind of thing.
Well, what's your advice then to those who want to be healthier, to be fitter, to be leaner, but they don't know where to start and maybe they're finding issues, they're finding it hard to find time or motivation to do it?
Okay, I would say that firstly, if you're starting off, I have a lot of kids from school who are asking me this now because they say they're going through the same bullying thing and everything. I normally tell them to, when it comes to bullying, stand up for yourself. And also, if you really, really want to lose weight, you should, if possible, because I did it by myself, right? And there were a lot of side effects. I would say that you should consult someone first, someone who is really well versed in this, in weight loss and everything. And once you get to know the suitable diet, because some people, you don't know what allergies they have, you don't know whether certain diets suit them or not. So it's better if they do the consultation. And after they get the consultation, they would probably know like, okay, so these are the kinds of food I can take. I can, that's suitable for my body. And the most important thing after you get to know that is your willpower and determination, because anyone can say, I want to lose weight, but then nobody is prepared for what comes during the whole, length of losing weight.
That's a lot of
losing
work,
weight
right?
is not It's not an easy process. It's a very long process, a very tedious, hard process. There are times where I broke down myself. I felt like I couldn't continue because it was so difficult. And my dad was the one who pushed me, saying that you started it already. Just keep going. Trust me, you won't regret it. So I think that you need to have very strong will. You need to have a very positive circle. That's another thing I feel, because when you have people around you that keep pushing you, I believe that you can go further. But if you're going to have people that are going to demotivate you, saying like, it's not going to work, like, like you're going to go back to your old habits again, then you'll probably sink back down. So the key to this is strong motivation, determination, willpower, and also positive circle. That's going to help push you through this. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Joanna, for sharing your story with us. Definitely an inspiration to all the young people out there.
Thank you for having me. It was fun talking to you guys.
Joanna, one more thing. Did you ever meet up with those girls who called you Earthquake after this?
No, I don't know where are they exactly, but I did have a few people from school who apologized. Like randomly, they found me on Insta and they were like, I want to say something. I'm so sorry for the way I treated you and everything. And I say, it's okay, like we make mistakes, but then just don't repeat it in the future. Not everyone can change it into positivity like what I did.
Yeah.
Which is why there are a lot of like suicide cases nowadays and everything, because not many people are, okay with mental health at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a strong girl. Yeah.
I was just wondering whether you walked up there and said,
this can be written into a script for a movie.
Yeah, man. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a Netflix movie called Insatiable. It's exactly my story. It's about a girl who was really plus size, and then she lost weight and she went for a beauty pageant and she won the crown. And when I watched that movie, I was like,
that's me.
They should have casted me. Like,